Climactic battles, guts, gore, and head-popping antics all mark an over-the-top season of The Boys. And what exactly is a Herogasm? This is everything you need to know about the ending of The Boys Season 3. The Boys Season 3 opens with our characters in vastly different spaces than where Season 2 left them. Yet the celebrity of the Seven remains strong as the action-packed film Dawn of the Seven opens in theaters. Butcher teams up with the Seven's Queen Maeve, who wants revenge on Homelander and longs to ruin Vaught's world.
If we can find this weapon, or whatever it is, maybe we can use it to blow Homelander's brains out.
Frenchie and Kimiko enjoy a blossoming romance and dream of escaping to Marseille. Mother's Milk re-enters his daughter Janine's life and strives to become an excellent dad. However, out of all the boys, Huey's life has changed the most. The newly confident protagonist and Starlight have gone public with the romance, and Huey co-heads the Federal Bureau of Superhuman Affairs alongside Congresswoman Victoria Newman. He enjoys a tight workplace camaraderie with Newman and feels like they're accomplishing a lot in their mission to capture errant soups with the help of government funding. Alas, as always in the boys' universe, nothing good can last. Huey soon discovers that Newman is actually Nadia, a soup who grew up in an orphanage for superhumans. Video footage from Newman's childhood home exposes her as the head popper from Season 2, and that she's been groomed since childhood by Vought CEO Stan Edgar. Huey feels like a weak loser once again and sets out on his darkest path yet. Annie Starlight January remains the only known soup with entirely pure motives. Starlight yearns to change the Seven from the inside until she realizes how fruitless that mission is. She sees the psychotic nature of Homelander growing more threatening, and she's scared. Alas, Huey tells Starlight she needs to continue her tenure in the Seven until they can figure out a way to kill the leader of the Seven. When Starlight and Homelander attend a meeting with Stan Edgar, he informs them that Starlight's popularity points are up, while Homelander's have plummeted. This has the unsurprising consequence that the already threatening stance Homelander has towards Starlight grows fiercer and more ominous. Edgar tells Starlight that she will become the first ever female co-captain of the Seven. She fears what Homelander will do to her and must figure out a way to harness her newfound corporate power to take the psychopath down before it's too late. Starlight recruits new Seven member and former boy band superstar Supersonic to help her fight Homelander, but has to learn to stand tall in the face of her mounting fears. Starlight's new role as co-captain of the Seven presents many obstacles on her Season 3 journey. In The Boys Season 3, Homelander finds the public tides turning against him for the first time. As Stormfront's Nazi past is exposed, Homelander is forced to explain his relationship with her, exposing cracks in his veneer. Homelander's narcissism soars in Season 3 too, as he sees the weaknesses of the other members of the Seven as a reflection of himself. He attempts to demean Starlight by demanding that she sing a Marilyn Monroe-style happy birthday to him on his televised birthday special, and is incensed when she refuses. Homelander hasn't dealt with rejection before, and secretly it's his greatest fear. Head Soup falls into a dark space when Stormfront kills herself. He realizes he didn't buy into her plan of building a master race because he is the master race in his mind. Homelander believes he's better than anyone else. When Starlight leaks a damning video of Homelander on social media, he decides to drop his good guy charade. He reveals the true disdain he holds for people, and gains fans in the worst of humanity who feel represented by him.
I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better.
Homelander no longer has a reason to hold his darkest self back. Anthony Starr plays Homelander with a subtle malevolence that gives the character authentic humanity, making him truly terrifying. For characters like Butcher and Huey, the introduction of a 24-hour temporary Compound V serum proves to be a game-changer. Queen Maeve secretly gives a few vials of the superhuman serum to Butcher, in case he needs to use it against Homelander. Temp V causes a user to develop temporary superpowers that wane within a day of the drug's injection. While the initial high of Temp V allows for superhuman strength and other powers, the detrimental side effects are equally as strong. Butcher initially hesitates to use the drug, but eventually succumbs to its lure, as does Huey. Ultimately, Butcher and Huey both become hooked. The two experience horrific hangovers and personality changes after using Temp V, and soon discover that prolonged use of the drug will kill them. Temp V opens up a plethora of storyline possibilities and may play a pivotal role in future seasons. By the season's end, the prolonged negative effects of the superhuman drug become apparent for Butcher. Season 3 of The Boys ushers in the long-anticipated arrival of Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy. Ackles plays Soldier Boy with sarcastic bad boy appeal, sans a good heart beating underneath.
You should smile more. I bet it's a beautiful smile.
Once the greatest soup in the world, Soldier Boy was the leader of a mega soup team called Payback. The group included future Seven member Black Noir, Soldier Boy's lover Crimson Countess, and Gunpowder, among others. The world believes Soldier Boy died in 1984 while saving the world from nuclear annihilation. The truth is far more dark and complicated. Billy Butcher thinks the chemical that killed Soldier Boy may be the only weapon that can end Homelander. His crew attempts to steal it from a clandestine Russian lab, only to find a very much alive Soldier Boy imprisoned in suspended animation. After Butcher and Huey take Temp V, they free Soldier Boy and recruit him to help them kill Homelander. However, the team quickly learns that Soldier Boy is as psychopathic as their nemesis. Yet, the radioactive superhero can render another suit powerless by blasting them with his energy, so the boys need him to take down the Seven. Alas, Mother's Milk has personal reasons to want Soldier Boy dead, and once again the group breaks apart. Huey and Butcher accompany Soldier Boy as he locates his former Payback teammates. The suit makes up for lost time by ingesting hardcore drugs and reminiscing about his heyday. Season 3 of The Boys may introduce us to new characters, but the corruption in the new soups mirrors that of those we already know. Through almost 40 years of torture at the hands of the Russians, Soldier Boy discovers that his former Payback team betrayed him. In 1984 Nicaragua, the team is sent by Vought to help new CIA agent Grace Mallory in the historical Contra battle against the Sandinistas. This is a fictionalized version of the battle that sparked the real-world Iran-Contra affair scandal involving Oliver North. Crimson Countess, the woman Soldier Boy once loved, quickly hatches a plan to hand Soldier Boy over to the Russians during the height of the battle. The entire Payback team is in on the plan, and Soldier Boy has nearly 4 decades to plot his revenge. Soldier Boy won't rest until he can torture and murder his traitorous team. The betrayal by the members of Payback, not to mention Soldier Boy's egomaniacal personality, once again proves even the best soups in history were terrible people. Butcher and Huey set up Crimson Countess by trapping her in the trailer where she now lives to make her easy prey. The Countess seems to have a part-time porn site where she communicates with Seth Rogen in a humorous cameo appearance. The Countess is also a fierce advocate for chimps and has released the sappy ballad Chimps Don't Cry in their honor.
You know that chimps are physically incapable of crying. But that doesn't mean they're not crying on the inside.
The rest of the Payback team proves easy for Soldier Boy to track down. In Episode 6, an exclusive soup event called Herogasm occurs, and it is exactly what the name implies, an invite-only festival of debauchery for soups.
Wait, is this? This is Herogasm.
The event, hosted by the TNT twins Tessa and Tommy, former members of Payback and middle-aged siblings with vague powers, gives us a visual of the insane sexual appetite soups have. Soldier Boy, Huey, and Butcher head to Herogasm to kill the twins, but Starlight shows up with Mother's Milk to stop them. Suffering from PTSD, Soldier Boy is unable to focus his radioactive energy and ends up killing or grievously injuring a myriad of soups. The build-up to the Season 3 finale really starts here as character arcs and storylines begin to converge. Homelander shows up to battle Soldier Boy and openly expresses fear for the first time. Starlight publicly quits the Seven and shows true bravery by attempting to stand up to Soldier Boy. She livestreams a video where she calls out most soups for only caring about themselves. We're looking at a new Starlight and she is fierce. The pieces continue to fall into place for a final showdown between the good and bad guys. Any glimmer of hope we held for the redemption of A-Train gets knocked to the curb in The Boys Season 3. Unable to run due to his addiction to Compound V, which causes heart issues, the fastest superhero decides to rebrand himself. A-Train commandeers his race to promote a self-serving and tone-deaf brand of energy drink, Turbo. In a mockery of the infamous 2017 Kendall Jenner Pepsi commercial, A-Train stars in an ad where protesters and police unite to gulp down his new soda. When A-Train decides to confront a C-list Vought soup named Blue Hawk for his racist patrolling of New Jersey, a tragedy ensues that leaves his brother Nathan paralyzed from the waist down. A-Train manipulates the events of the tragedy to serve himself, and when given a chance to do the right thing, he fails. Although he suffers constant abuse at the hands of Homelander and the Deep, A-Train continues to seek their approval and betrays others to get back into Homelander's good graces. A-Train thinks he cares about others, but focuses on what will benefit him alone. If Season 2 of The Boys brought us relationship goals to aspire to through Frenchie and Kimiko, then Season 3 solidifies the depth and authenticity of their romance. The love that Frenchie and Kimiko share grows as they become more vulnerable with each other. Although Kimiko still can't speak, the first episode of Season 3 showcases her singing voice as the former weapon of the Shining Light Liberation Army belts out "Dream a Little Dream." Music provides a healing outlet for Kimiko. She and Frenchie often snuggle up to watch old musicals, and the two are showcased in a phenomenal musical dance number. Kimiko realizes she blamed Compound V for making her a monster, but in reality, it's her lifelong conditioning by the Shining Light Liberation Army and personal choices that caused her to become a killing machine. In the season finale, Kimiko tells a downtrodden Frenchie that their past doesn't define them. She thought she would always be broken, but that Frenchie saw something in her, and she sees it in him. In Season 2 of The Boys, Billy Butcher does everything within his power to protect his ex-wife Becca and her young son Ryan Butcher from Homelander. When he finally unlocks his powers at the end of Season 2, Ryan shows his first signs of superpowers with a tragic ending. After that devastating event, Butcher stows Ryan away with ex-CIA Deputy Director Grace Mallory. However, Homelander finally finds them and tells his son that he loves him unconditionally. The leader of the Seven even means it, as much as Homelander can love someone other than himself. Ryan has longed to hear those words from Butcher, but Homelander will suffice.
Dad, I want to go.
Ryan's loyalty to his dad grows in the final episode of The Boys Season 3. He sees Butcher and his friends as the enemy. After the showdown with Soldier Boy, Ryan leaves with Homelander, and his psychotic grin in the last scene of the season finale does not bode well for his future. The last action-packed scene of The Boys Season 3 takes place in Vought Tower, the home of the Seven. Everything has led to this showdown, and it's epic. Soldier Boy gets the edge on Homelander, but when Ryan intercedes, he turns his sights on the boy. Butcher will still do anything to protect Ryan and can't let Soldier Boy hurt him. For a singular moment, Butcher and Homelander join forces against the mega superhero. Ultimately, though, it's Maeve who sacrifices herself in the fight. Homelander and Ryan fly away, but there is little closure in the aftermath of the battle. Both villainous soups survive the showdown, leaving future storylines wide open. The Boy still feels as timely and politically resonant as ever. The ending of Season 3 sets up the possibility for another season, but we'll just have to tune in to Vought News Network to find out what comes next.
That is definitely gonna go.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about The Boys are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.